welcome to Budgeting and Planning with Steph. I'm Steph. Today is Tuesday, and I'm going to talk about Transfer Tuesday and what that means to me, and why I think that maybe you ought to consider having a Transfer Tuesday in your life as well. For me, I've been on a long debt journey, a journey to get rid of the debt that I acquired earlier in my life, I should say. And I have worked really hard and gotten rid of thousands and $1,000s of personal debt. I've paid off 2 vehicles, and the only debt remaining in my life at this time is my student loan debt. And I'm working hard on that as well. But one of the ways that I was able to pay off my debt and feel like I'm in a place where I can finally breathe and feel good about my financial picture and my financial future is by paying attention to my money. When I was younger and in a lot of debt, I just would bury my head in the sand and not pay attention to my money. And I quickly, it was not quickly, it was painfully over years, I figured out the way to get out of debt was not to ignore it, but to check in on my money. For me, I check in on my money every day, but specifically to pay attention to when, set up a schedule to when you might want to make changes or look at your picture and see if any, transfers like Transfer Tuesday need to happen. And I don't think it has to be Tuesday, just the alliteration is nice. But I just would like to, that's my word of advice to someone that's been around the block on this, is to don't ignore your money. Even if you don't have a lot and you're in debt, just by paying attention to it, I feel like you're less likely to abuse it. If you know that you don't have a lot of money to spend and you're looking at it every day, you're less likely to overspend and make the mistakes that get you in a situation that makes your life uncomfortable. So, getting it off my soapbox and talk about what the transfers that I'm making today. I got up this morning and looked at what my financial picture, opened up my accounts, looked at balances. I wrote down some debit card transactions that had taken place, and I identified 3 transfers that needed to happen today. So when I made my video last week, I talked about my October budget, and this top piece of my budget, I don't know how well this shows up on the camera, but this is an account that I have with my, called a cash management account that I have with Fidelity, and I don't get any sort of, I'm not a Fidelity affiliate, I just really like this account. I earn interest on it, I don't have to pay monthly fees, I have a debit card, I have a checkbook so I can write checks on it if I need to, but I only use it for scheduled transactions. I've never used my debit card. So I set it up at the beginning of the month. I know what's going to come out of it from the get-go. And my first 2 transactions, my self-indulgent car wash comes out, and it's actually $59.99. Yeah, sorry, can't write. $59.99. That has happened. My level pay power bill. My power bill is always $56 a month. So that has happened. So these 2 have cleared. But so that's what's happened so far in my, in terms of my paying my utility bills this month. But I did, the one bill that's not set up on a level pay is I pay the city that I live in for water, sewer, and trash. And I sort of averaged that for the last 12 months, and I came up that it's $112 a month. But my bill arrived yesterday afternoon, and it was not $112. It was actually much more than I thought it was going to be. And at this time of year, I live in Idaho. We're still watering our lawns, and so that my water bill was actually it hasn't come out yet, but it's actually going to be $168.48. And I totaled this up, and this is almost $600 that's going to come out. And I'm going to switch gears on you here. And this is the tracking sheet that I use to manage this account. And the top part that's written in blue are my expenses from September. And I ended September, I transferred $550 in for October, and I ended the month with $556.47. And then I wrote out my expenses for October, and I made a little typo, so I apologize, it's a little messy. But I was trying to figure out, so I knew that I was going to be short. So if I know that I need $590 and I only have $556 in that account, at the beginning of the month. I need to come up with some more money. And last month I had received some refunds that I hadn't accounted for into my main account that I spend with. I had paid a bunch of health expenses to the health system that I use, and I overpaid and they started sending me some refunds. They gave me $40 in September and I reallocated that. But early last week I had $24.40, $3.30, and $25 refund amounts come into my account, and it's $52.70. And I was just kind of ignoring it, kind of using as a little buffer, and I was going to spend it on myself at the end of the month if I still had it sitting there. But I'm sitting here this morning agonizing over where I want to pull the money from to pay this extra water bill. And I decided my health refund, it's not going to go to myself and it's not going to go back in health. It's going to pay the water this month. So that was my first transfer of the day. I made a deposit into my cash management account for this $52.70. So I did the math, and none of my other bills in this account are variable. They're all set amounts that I know. My Verizon bill, they actually sent me the statement after I made my budget and it went up a little bit. So it's $127.09. The natural gas bill is on level pay, $32. So I anticipate ending the month with $17.79 left in that cash management account. So I'm glad that I paid attention to that. I needed to address with that discrepancy, but that's what this cash management account is for me. So the other thing that that was my second transfer. I made my student loan payment of $70. Or did I say that? Yeah, I can't remember if I said that. My first transfer of the month. No, actually, I'm doing this backwards. So my first transfer was taking money from my spending account, the $52.70, put it in this account, and that was taken care of. And then I went back to this budget and I knew that I had $70 sitting there to pay my student loan. So I made that transfer. That was the second transfer that I made this Tuesday. I paid that bill. I've got $70 going into my student loan. And I do intend to make another video where I talk about my student loan and what that balance is and how I plan to tackle it. And then I was looking around my accounts, and I have an IRA savings account for retirement. And I realized that I had some dividends that were paid last week. And I don't, in this account, like to have my dividends, like sometimes you can set them up so that they're like automatically buy back the like stock or whatever, position you have it invested in. But I have mine set so that it just goes into cash. Because I have one sort of position in my portfolio that I want to build up. And so I had $145.98 sitting in cash in my IRA, and I made a transfer and bought that other fund that I want to buy. So I made that sort of transfer in my Fidelity account. So that's where I moved money around this morning, and I will be back next Tuesday to show you where I'm moving money at next Tuesday. The other just kind of housekeeping that I want to take care of right now is yesterday I started talking about this watch wall, and I guess I should apologize too. I realized yesterday after I was done that my video was not in frame and you couldn't see the bottom half of my page, and I'm new at this. Yesterday was my third video, and I figured out what caused the problem, and I think hopefully I've alleviated that today and that you can see. I watched several videos last night as I was winding down, but only 2 were on my watch wall. I did watch one of Odette's videos, so I've got some red, and I watched Kimmy's video from yesterday, so I've got some blue I can color in. Alex and Caitlin at Cash Stuff didn't have any new videos. And I found a new video last night that I really enjoyed, a new channel. So I'm going to watch her a little bit more and make sure, but I'm thinking about adding her into my 5th slot on my watch wall. The other thing, I'm so excited to share with you guys, as I'm a brand new channel, and so this is a big deal for me. I didn't know that anyone would watch my videos, but I surpassed my first 10 subscribers this morning. So I had printed this off from Budget Your Life's Ko-fi page. This was free, so you can sort of this is sort of to track your video or your YouTube channel. Once you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can get monetized on YouTube. And I'm going to be quite transparent. I do hope to get monetized. I could use that little bit of money to help pay on that student loan. So that is my end goal. Other than this really does help me watch my money. So I passed my first 10, so I can mark this off. Very exciting. So, and then just to close out my video today, I want to do my transfer to my medical account. This is from Lisa Grateful Me. I'm so grateful to her inspiration, and I guess leadership would be the right word. I think she's a great role model for saving money. She created these medical trackers. I've got a couple of them. I printed them off. There's 5 different variations. She is using it to pay off a medical bill, and I am using this to save for my medical future in my retirement, help offset costs that aren't covered by Medicare when I'm in retirement. So Lisa put $6 almost every video at least, and right now I'm just able to put $1. I have to take it out of, I didn't budget for this, so I'm taking it out of my miscellaneous funds for the month right now. So I've got $1 I'm going to put in today and get to color that in. It's very satisfying, as you probably know if you've done this. So I've got $2 in my medical fund now. And I was going to show you guys something I discovered in this journey. So I made these myself, and it was a template that was on Canva that I modified to make it be what I needed. But I made this over the weekend, and I used this Tombow glue to glue the sides. And it's well glued, but the glue is wet, and it kind of like discolored and made it crinkly on my envelope. So I took a different tack with Lisa's envelope. I cut it out yesterday, and then I adhered the sides with this Scotch 2-sided tape that I had. I'm not sure where I got this. I just found it in my drawer. This worked amazing. These are really well secured. Perfect. So now I've got my $2 in my future health envelope. That's all I have for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I really do appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. We are having a beautiful fall day here in Idaho, and I hope the weather's nice where you are, and you're able to get out and enjoy a little sunshine today. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.